What's up, everybody? I'm Joe. Welcome to Ravens Fan Nation. Let me put this camera a little bit closer. Before we get, I didn't get time to get my equipment set up, so we're going to do it with a regular camera here. Breaking news, Brandon Marshall landing in Baltimore. Is it a possibility? Let's get right into it right now. There are some sources coming out now that Brandon Marshall could possibly land in Baltimore, but here's the problem. There are rumors. Some FantasySports.com writers, some small, little, tiny minor league sports columns are reporting, and message boards reporting rumors that Brandon Marshall could land in Baltimore. As y'all know, the disgruntled wide receiver is guessing for a trade out of Denver. It could be because of the whole Jay Cutler situation. The team doesn't trust him. There's a lot of rumors why he might want to trade out of there. Here's the problem, though. As y'all know, back in the early months when Anquan Boldin was I guess you want to call, supposedly going to be coming to Baltimore, Ozzie Newsome pretty much grabbed it up and said, hey, we're not getting him. We want Michael or we're getting Michael, and that's how it went. He was asking for a first and second or third round pick and some money there. Now the situation with Boldin is it never went through, and we pretty much knew in Baltimore after the couple of weeks it was talked about it wasn't going to come through. So with this Brandon Marshall situation, they're pretty much asking for the same thing, and for Baltimore to go after Brandon Marshall, the price would have to be lower, just like in the Anquan Boldin situation, which it never was. And even though Baltimore never officially said they were going after him, it would have to be lowered. For Brandon Marshall, the same thing. It would have to be lowered. Now, there is some rumors out there now that Baltimore, its biggest weakness is going to be the receiver position this year. That's been the biggest talk with a lot of sports writers and, pundits in the NFL there. Right now, Ozzie Newsome saying, hey, you know what, we got a great wide receiver core. Why do why you say we don't got nothing when we do got something? We got Derek Mason. We got now signed Washington. I believe we still got Clayton. I can't remember. My brain's off right now. You got Williams. You got so many great wide receivers. But here's the problem I look at. When you look at Joe Flacco, franchise quarterback, franchise linebacker, and Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, franchise safety, wide receiver core, who's the franchise player there? Derek Mason, he's a great player, but I don't look at him as a franchise wide receiver. I haven't seen him like that in a very long time. So Brandon Marshall would be a great addition to Baltimore. But before you get up and say, well, you better get him or I'm going to hate the Ravens, listen to this. Ozzie Newsome made some great moves this all season. He's a great manager when it comes to managing and just producing this team into what it is. There has been no reliable source out of any major network, out of any sports major network, out of any international, any Ravens news, if you want to call it that Brandon Marshall is going to be a Raven. So right now it's just rumors floating around. Here's how I look at it. Brandon Marshall is like a bullet. He's a dent in that armor. He's a dent in that armor, a dent in that armor, and a dent in that armor. And I'll say that over again. Let me tell you why. Because once you puncture that armor, that is another Super Bowl for Baltimore. Now, you can't say one player, one wide receiver is a Super Bowl wide receiver. 15 touchdowns last year, I believe. Had a couple thousand yards, if I'm thinking about it right. He's a great wide receiver. He's no Terrell Owens. He's no Randy Moss. He's no Santana Moss, but he's still a great wide receiver. And all these players I just mentioned, the Ravens had a chance to get them. But Ozzie Newsome has passed them off. The offers have been too high. The offers have been too low. The situations with Baltimore, they're not the kind of team that says, damn, let me grab him up, go, take one of my first-round picks. They don't do that kind of stuff. They sit down and think, is Brandon Marshall going to be as productive as he is in Denver as he's going to be in Baltimore? Is he going to be, we're going to bring him to Baltimore and he's just going to fail? That's how they're looking at it. Also, the situation with his criminal background. He hasn't killed nobody, but, he's getting into some criminal stuff right there. He's not a criminal. I don't look at him that way. He's still a great wide receiver, and I would love to see him in Baltimore. But again, breaking news, he could land in Baltimore. I want everybody right now to check NFL.com, Ravens.com. I haven't gotten any of this information from there. My reliable source sent it to me. But again, these are our small sports columnists. And I want to, this is three categories. You got rumors, you got rumors, productivity, and you got definites. Rumors are something that somebody spreads around. I can get on here right now and say David Gerard is going to be a quarterback for the Ravens next year. And I swear to God, it'll be all over the internet in a couple hours. Then you got productivity. It's something that's in the works, that the Ravens have expressed interest. And then you got definites, where it says, hey, the Ravens are getting Marshall. Again, it is unconfirmed that Baltimore will go after Brandon Marshall. The way I look at it, they will not. The way I want to look at it, they're going to get him. How do you see it? I don't know. We're not going to start making videos every week like we did with the Anquan Boldin situation. I got my hopes up so high, and then they fell through the floor like a Christmas tree on a fucking wooden pedestal, if you know what I mean. That cell hurt so much. I pretty much cried. I was so disgruntled. I cried. I fell on the floor and cried. I was so pissed. But with this situation with Brandon Marshall, I'm not getting my hopes up. Now, if I hear anything from the Ravens, definitely, then I'm going all out. It's going to be fucking Christmas in July or June or whatever the hell this month is, May. Also, there's a new video coming at you next about my top 5 plays. I was going to do that until I got my source on my email saying Brandon Marshall a Raven. And first of all, I jumped out my fucking seat. I was like, holy shit, you know. That's like fucking getting the news like, hey, you know, your baby's on the way, something like that. That's some big news right there. It might not be that exciting, but y'all get me right now. So Brandon Marshall could be a Raven. The only reason I use this title and not, like, you know, he is not a Raven is because it attracts more people to the video. I want people to find out. If you look on the videos on YouTube and you see a video that says Brandon Marshall is not becoming a Raven, what the fuck would you want to watch that for? Like, seriously, that pretty much tells you it already. So, breaking news, he could be a Raven. Stay tuned all week long. It's going to be on probably Ravens.com or NFL.com. If it's a rumor that will be denounced quickly, then it's over. It'll be over like a poof of smoke. If it's something that's going to linger, hopefully not, and get us all agitated like the Boldin situation, it's going to linger. If it will not linger and it's something definite, we will hear about it very soon. Stay tuned to NFL Network. Stay tuned right here on YouTube. We will be the official source. I don't care about anybody else posting videos. We will be the official source of the Brandon Marshall situation, unless it's pretty much denounced and forget about it. I'm Joe. Again, breaking news, Brandon Marshall could be a Raven, could not be a Raven. He could stay in Denver. I don't know. I'm Joe. Check y'all out later.